Okay, so what my project was about and include team and individual goals for the experience. So basically, we went to the nursing home and we did different activities with them. And personally, like my individual goal for this was just kind of to go there and be a person for the residents there because, like, I know that a lot of times when people are living in nursing homes, not all of their family can come and see them all the time. So just being that extra boost for them. What have I learned about myself throughout this experience? I learned that I need to share my ideas no matter what they are because even if it's not necessarily the greatest idea in the world, there are other people in the room who can build off that idea. So sharing that idea and then getting more ideas to build on top of that makes it one big great idea. So even if I don't think that it's necessarily a good one, share it anyways because somebody can add to it and make it better. What have I learned about the aging process and the people who serve throughout this experience? What I've learned is that sometimes you just have to let go and be a little bit more understanding because I joined in the second semester. So the first day I went, I knew not any of them were going to know me. I didn't know exactly like where they were at in their aging process, but I knew that none of them were going to know me. And the second time I went, I wasn't expecting any of them to remember me. I wasn't expecting any of them to remember my name, just because of I know when people get old, and if you're not in their life all the time, it's hard for them to remember you necessarily. So that was a big thing for me. And just be patient with them. And I feel like that's the thing I learned about the people who serve throughout this experience is like the people who work at the nursing home, they have to be so patient because a lot of those older ladies and older gentlemen that live there aren't necessarily going to want to do things right or want to go do things period the first time. How did the project affect the residents at the nursing home and how do you know? I think it affected them positively because they seemed very happy and very willing to do things that we were with. A couple of them had certain days but that they really wouldn't want to do anything, but I feel like that was just kind of a part of their, not necessarily their body deteriorating, but sometimes we all just have bad days, and I feel like that was part of it for them. We also did a little bunny activity and for Easter, and they all seemed to really like that. They were all smiling and laughing and enjoying themselves. And the same thing with the prom that we threw at the end of the year because I wasn't quite sure how that was going to go, and it ended up being a great success, so that was cool. What have I learned about working as a team on an extended project this year? Again, with the whole sharing your ideas, even though you're not quite sure how they're going to turn out. And then also that many hands make light work. So working together as a whole team instead of just trying to do things yourself. Like obviously there needs to be a leader at some point, and if nobody's taking that lead, you need to take it yourself and give that little extra push. What experiences or skills can I take with me into the future? I feel like working with an older generation just makes you more grounded and makes you have a greater respect for the things we have now because like they went through life and they didn't have computers, they didn't have the technology we have, and they went through so many hardships and like look where they are now. So I feel like that's something I can take with me is knowing that first of all I helped them hopefully in some way have fun on Thursdays, and they helped me like realize that life could be a lot different for me right now if like we didn't have like the updating technology and that stuff. So if I could start all over with my service learning experience at the nursing home, what would I do different and why? First of all, I wish I would have taken this class the whole year because I feel like that would have made a huge difference in the way things ended. And, and also, Mr. White is going to make you have an ending point, that your goal wants to be at the end, and a starting point. Make sure you know every single thing that you want to do between the starting point and the ending point, because that's going to make things so much easier, and make sure you have everything organized and everything planned out, because I really wish that's something we would have done. And communication with Mary, who was like our supervisor there, I feel like that could have been deeper than it was. Talk about 1 or 2 breakthrough moments during your experience and why they stand out to you. To me, it was actually not at the nursing home. It was when we were in the classroom, and when we would come together as a group, and there'd be days that like 1 or 2 people would say some things that we could do, but then there'd be days that like everybody had ideas and everybody thought of things we could do, and we built off each other's ideas. And to me, that was a really breakthrough moment when we got those days where we got a lot done. And then the last question, was it worth it? It was totally 100% worth it. The one advice that I would say is that make sure that your service project that you pick is something that you're passionate about and something that you can really get into, and something that you're not going to get bored with at the second semester, especially if you plan on doing it for the whole year, because I think that's one thing our group struggled with, is that towards the end of the year we got kind of bored with what we were doing, because we were literally doing the same thing every single week. So just make sure that it's something that you can go through the whole year and do, because if you drop it at semester, like, I feel like that's just, it's like an abrupt end. So make sure that if you are planning to switch, you have your end goal, and it's a good end goal for you and for them, to make sure that like they all know that this was the last time and everything. But it was definitely worth it, and it's definitely a class I think everyone should take, because I think it gives you more of an insight to the outside world, and I think it gives you a little something that not anybody else would have. It takes your character to the next level, I guess I could say. Yeah, so have fun with this class.